Hey there, movie fans. So the first topic is the news of Rocketeer reboot got a new writer. Now, when it comes to the original Rocketeer movie, I think it's a fun movie. It's not one of my all-time favorite movies. I don't think it's fantastic, but it is an entertaining movie. And I know the script has been through different phases, but originally it was going to be a legacy sequel, and now it's more of a reboot. And I do have some interest in this movie because, like I said, I did enjoy the original, even though I don't think it's like fantastic. And I also think you could do like a really cool modern spin on a Rocketeer. Now, I'm not too familiar with this writer's work when it comes to the new writer, so the announcement of this new writer doesn't really do anything for me. But like I said, I think you could do a really cool modern spin on the Rocketeer. The next thing is the news that the Marvels right now tracking wise is tracking between 50 to 75. Now, obviously, this is way down because the first Captain Marvel movie made 150, slightly over 150 back when it came out in 2019. And I think there's four factors in my opinion. The first factor is I don't think the trailers for the Marvels have been great. I think the trailers have really hadn't done a good job when it comes to the marketing of this movie. With they put out trailers where people can tell what the movie's about, and I just think the overall trailers just haven't gotten people excited for this movie. So that's number one. I don't think the marketing has done a good job when it came to the trailers. The next thing is the fact that I feel like a lot of people seem to hate Brie Larson. Like, I totally understand if you don't like her on the whole when it comes to, like, you just didn't feel like she fit the character, where you thought her performance was okay. Because I know a lot of people are very lukewarm on the first movie and her as a character. But I never understood this, like, hatred that some people have towards her personally. I've never really, I know she said a comment years ago, and but outside of that, I just don't understand what people's problems with her is really. So I think that is a little bit of a factor. Not a big factor, but a little bit. The other thing is that the MCU right now is on a decline. And even though I love the MCU, it has not been as consistent as it was in Infinity Saga. Yeah, you had your Thor the Dark World, Iron Man 2, Age of Ultron, but they were putting out bang after bang in Infinity Saga. And generally, the MCU Infinity Saga is very beloved. I mean, they were putting out more consistent hits critically. And you look at Phase 4 and 5, it's been very hit or miss for people. I mean, Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man movie got slammed critically. Eternals wasn't beloved, even though I love that movie. I know not everybody loved the same way when style to the Doctor Strange movie. I mean, even look at behind the scenes stuff where MCU seems to be having issues when it comes to just lately behind the scenes stories about some of these directors and this other stuff where they didn't have that many back in the Infinity Saga. And just critically, they aren't hitting as well as they used to. I mean, and financially, well, you look back at the Infinity Saga, every sequel to the franchise in the Infinity Saga made more than the past movie. I mean, Age of Ultron was the only movie in the Infinity Saga where it did not gross the past movie, but it came close to it, made like 1.4. The first Avengers made 1.5. So they were just putting out hit after hit with just, they would have the weak movie here and there, but they were way more consistent in the Infinity Saga. And right now, I think just the MCU is very much on a hit or miss track record with people right now. So I think people's excitement for MCU has gone down because of it. Now, I am glad to hear that this is a side thing, but I am glad to hear that story where Kevin Feige is rebooking the Daredevil show, and they're going to change the whole way they do TV shows because they realize doing a movie and TV show are two totally different things. You don't make a movie the same way you make a TV show. Like the fact with the TV shows they had like executive producers who were running the story, not showrunners for the shows, and they would always fist in last minute in post production like they did with the movies. Like I'm glad Kevin Feige as well as on that with Daredevil that okay, we gotta change the way we're doing the TV shows. Because the Disney Plus shows to me have definitely felt like at times, basically they felt like more like movies that have been chopped up into pieces. I mean, look at some of the finales like Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Secret Invasion. It's basically felt like that with the Disney Plus shows. So that's a society thing. But even with that, that shows more of a decline in MCU right now. Even the shows haven't really been hitting for everybody. So I think that's another factor. And the last factor, in my opinion, is the fact that as much as I love the first Captain Marvel movie, I believe it has like a 45% with the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It has like a 79 for critic score, where the critics seem to enjoy it more than the audience. a lot of people consider that, even MCU fans consider that to be kind of one of the weaker MCU movies. So I'm in the minority when it comes to me loving the first movie. So I think that's the other thing is that a lot of people didn't love the first movie. So for me, it's the bad marketing with the trailers. The response for the first movie, it's generally considered by most people to be kind of the middle of the road movie, the first one. The MCU is on a decline right now, and I know there's some people out there that just don't like Brie Larson. But but with all that, I'm not surprised this movie's tracking low. I honestly don't think this movie's gonna make a billion like the first one. Now the tracking could be way off. Sometimes tracking is right on point. Sometimes it's a lot lower. Sometimes it ends up being higher than what the tracking is predicting. So who knows at this point? Gotta wait till the movie comes out. But I think those are the four major factors why the Marvels isn't tracking as anywhere near as big as the first one. Next thing I want to talk about is the news that they put out a trailer for Werewolf by Night in color. Now, if you haven't seen the Werewolf by Night Marvel special, I highly recommend you go and check this out. I actually think the special presentation when it comes to Guardian Galaxy Holiday Special and the Werewolf by Night is, in my opinion, what Marvel Studios should have been doing. I think those Disney Plus shows would have been better in that format where you're doing like a mini movie. Because Werewolf by Night to me was fantastic. I loved it, and in the trailer, I thought the trailer was great. It looks really good in color. And I love the fact that they said they worked really hard on it. And I believe it's coming out in October. So if you haven't seen Werewolf by Night, this is your chance to watch. I highly recommend you go check out Werewolf by Night, the Marvel special. To me, it's one of the best things about Phase 4. That and the Guardians Holiday special. The next thing I want to talk about is the news that Miramax is the one that ended up getting the Halloween rights. And I think this is interesting. The reason I want to talk about this is because the fact they're going to do a universe where maybe the show and films might be connected. Now, when it comes to a Halloween universe, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that because I don't know if Halloween can work as a TV show because it's always been a film series. So the TV part of it doesn't really excite me that much because I'm not a big TV show person. But the other thing is that I don't know if the Halloween franchise is the type of franchise you can do a whole universe around. But again, I also have to wait to see how the new film's gonna be, how this TV show's gonna be. It's just, I don't know. I feel like sometimes studios are trying to do a universe with everything right now, and there's certain franchises where I just don't know if you can do a universe around. Like DC and Marvel, you can do that because you have thousands of characters and years of comics. But a Halloween universe, I just don't know if that could work, honestly. But when it comes to Miramax getting the rights, I think they're a good fit, Sometimes they made some good movies, sometimes they aren't. Sometimes they made some bad movies. But overall, I like them getting the rights. I would have preferred if it was A24. That's the one I was rooting for because I think A24 could have done something really interesting with a Halloween film. Because sometimes they make movies that I love, other times they make some weird movies that don't work for me, but I think it could have been really interesting to see what they would have done with Halloween. And that's then the last thing I'll talk about is the Wonka trailer. I think this is a great trailer. Now, I've said in my past videos when I talk about the last trailer, I enjoyed the Wizard of Wonka, the Willy and the Chocolate Factory movie, the Wizard of Wonka movie, but it's not a cult classic for me like it is for a lot of people. When it comes to the Johnny Depp one, I think that one's terrible. I know that movie has its fans, but it just Tim Burton's style and Johnny Depp's weird performance just didn't work for me personally. So these trailers for this new movie Wonka has done a great job actually making somebody like me who doesn't love the Wizard movie like a lot of people do. Has done a great job making me excited for this new movie. And I actually think CGI for the Oompa Loompa looks actually better in this trailer. I still think the Oompa Loompas will always look out of place and weird to me when I see them in the movies. But overall, I think this is a great trailer. It definitely has that charm. It looks visually stunning. So I can't wait for the Wonka movie. So that's all the movie topics today. Until next time, movie fans.